With production shut down early due to the coronavirus pandemic, the current season of The Flash had a few episodes still left to shoot when everything went dark. So this season kind of came to an abrupt end with one heck of a cliffhanger, honestly. So just a quick warning, which is kind of obvious, but spoiler warning. This video is going to be full of spoilers for Success is Assured, the latest episode of The Flash. So Eva is finally loose from the mirror dimension, and the newly minted Mirror Master, or Mirror Mastress, Mirror Mistress, whatever you want to call her, she's not wasting any time in plotting the death of her husband. Of course, I mean, we kind of predicted this would happen, and we find out a bit more about how Eva actually ended up trapped in the mirror dimension. And it turns out Carver was there when it happened and opted to leave her there, trapped in the mirror, purposely so that he could profit from her company and weaponize her tech. So, yeah. I mean, we already knew he was a bad dude, but this is just like double confirmation. So, he's a bad dude. And after being warned by Barry, Carver quickly realizes Eva is free and gunning for him. So after his own metahuman assassin team is turned against him, he finally decides to turn to Barry and Team Flash for help. And we get an interesting turn here when Eva, via her evil Sing reflection clone thing, offers to give Barry back Iris if he'll hand over Carver. And Barry, for a moment, actually considers it, which understandably irks Nash a bit, especially after his vision of Harry notes that, yeah, the old Barry would have never considered that offer. So it's interesting to see here how Nash still has, like, the other versions of Harrison Wells, like, kind of haunting him or, like, giving him advice and stuff. But I guess that's how we're going to be seeing all these different versions of Wells in the future, because, I mean, there's no more doppelgangers. So, things really took a turn here, though, because it really showed just how much Barry is unraveling without Iris. But sadly, we don't get to see where that self-doubt is leading yet, with the season cut so short, of course. As for the plan to save Carver, it calls for getting him back to the McCulloch Tech offices, where he's set up a high-tech panic room that's been designed to protect him from Eva in the event she ever did get loose. And as you can probably imagine, it doesn't go all that well. So Eva turns his light-powered assassins against him, and the force field that was supposed to protect them, it gets shut down because all of the power in the building is disabled. So then it turns into this huge battle between Team Flash, Carver, and Eva and her minions and stuff. And Eric Wallace, the showrunner of The Flash, has actually said that this is probably the biggest fight scene they've ever filmed before, and it really was quite a massive fight here. But while all of that is going on, Carver just tries to hide in the panic room and hopes that Eva doesn't find him. But in a truly boneheaded twist, it turns out Carver's mirrorless panic room isn't all that mirrorless, because Eva takes a page out of The Ring and climbs out to get him through the reflection in the computer screen monitor. I mean, seriously, man, your panic room has screens. Why not just go straight up concrete or something? Like, it's cheaper, way less reflective surfaces. Regardless, Mirror Master is in the building and sends a pile of glass shards headed straight for Carver. Until Barry jumps in front of them and takes all of those shards to his own chest. Of course, he's got to make the hero moment sacrifice thing, and you know, it's a real nice payoff after considering to cut a deal to trade Carver's life for Iris. But Barry does what a hero does and sacrifices himself to save a life. Even the life of a sleazeball like Carver. Because that's a bad dude. But only heroes will save those bad dudes. So, it's all for nothing, though. I mean, Eva simply pushes a shard through Barry, which seems really painful, like all the way through his skin, and uses it to kill Carver. So thankfully Barry apparently has enough super speed healing powers left to recover, but Carver is dead. But speaking of Barry's powers, I don't know how he still has speed. This is honestly, like, probably the stupid part about this. I like the whole idea of him losing his speed and stuff, but it's like he's not losing his speed. Like, a couple episodes ago, when Mirror Iris kicked him out of the apartment, and his watch thing went red, you would have thought that meant, oh, he lost his speed now. But no, the past couple episodes, he's just been running low on speed. But no, they need to heighten the stakes, and, you know, just take away his speed completely. Because it's like, oh, he always has a little bit of speed left, and I don't get it. Like, he should be out of speed by now. But back to Carver being dead and all that stuff, and Barry trying to recover. This is where something really interesting happens. So Eva lets Flash and his team go, and makes it clear she has no beef with him and with the city's heroes. She just wanted to kill her husband for leaving her in the Mirror Universe, and now she's done with that, so she's taking her company back and re-entering public life, and this sets up a fascinating change of pace from past villains that we've had on the show, because Eva tells Barry they're on the same side. Essentially, they both wanted to take down Carver, and that's exactly why Eva took Iris into the Mirror Realm, or Mirrorverse, or whatever, because she knew that they had a common goal, because when Iris was there, she was looking for evidence to frame, well, not frame Carver, but, like, evidence to prove that Carver should be in jail. And then she got taken to the mirror by Eva because they had a common goal and all that stuff. So that's why Eva thinks they're on the same side. Because she's not wrong. So obviously the Flash's solution wasn't to kill Carver, but the deed's done and everybody's honestly better off now. So Eva is obviously a bad guy and she's responsible for trapping Iris and Singh. But wouldn't it make sense for Barry to try and find some common ground at this point? Especially if she's able to get Iris back. But at this point, we simply just don't know, since the episode ends with Team Flash regrouping to take on Eva, with Joe back from protective custody. But they're honestly a bit shorthanded, as Caitlin/Frost is leaving with her mother to try and stabilize her condition. Speaking of Caitlin, we do get a great closing moment with Barry and Caitlin, though, and it's been way too long since we've had one of those, because she reminds Barry that his real force is love, and to never forget that. And I mean, it makes sense, because he was the paragon of love, I think, so, and honestly, it makes a lot of sense, because it's not his speed that's helped him defeat all of his villains. It's the love that he has for the people he loves that keeps him going. So it really speaks to the heart of this hero on the show and what drives both. So, yeah. But we sadly we'll have to wait until next season to see how this story gets resolved, unfortunately. But on another note, like, while basically all of this stuff here was going on, Sue Dearborn also makes a surprise reappearance this week, except it wasn't a surprise because, I mean, if you watched the preview from last week or any of the trailers for this episode, then you would have known that she was going to be in here. But she has apparently cut a deal with Carver to replace her parents in his evil organization to set them free. Of course, she only did that to get a shot at stopping Carver herself, but Eva beats her to the punch. So, sadly, Sue's freedom doesn't last that long, though, because Eva frames Sue for Carver's death, and it seems Sue is heading back out on the run as a wanted woman. Or maybe she'll stay with Team Flash and team up with Ralph and grow that connection until they end up together romantically, because that happened in the comics. But the big battle at the end, Sue was there. Ralph was there and all that stuff. I mentioned it a little bit before. But that battle really was a wild one. The scene was washed in red and really taking full advantage of some comic panel style split screens, really fun cinematography and framing there, so I really enjoyed seeing that. Yeah, a lot happened in this episode, but one of the smallest parts of the episode was one of the craziest parts of the episode. So Iris, she and Camilla are of course still stuck in the mirror universe, and just when Iris gets a break in tracking down the real Singh, she fractals out and disappears. So yeah, big cliffhanger there that will leave us wondering what's up with Iris until the fall, whenever we get to see more new episodes of The Flash. So not sure what's happening there. Maybe she now has mirror powers like Eva or something. Because, I mean, Eva turned her arm into a gun. Not sure how she did that, but maybe it's something from being in the mirror universe. Maybe Iris now has those powers as well. But yeah, that is the season finale of The Flash. But next up, the episode ended with a to be continued tag, and hopefully it will be eventually. I mean, productions are still shuttered down due to the coronavirus pandemic, and no word yet on when they'll eventually be able to resume. I've heard it's probably going to be like October at the earliest when they can return to filming. So hopefully we'll have Cisco back by then, which would be great because it was really disappointing to not see him in this episode. But he's in Atlantis apparently. And Danielle Panabaker, who plays Caitlin, she just had her baby, so by the time fall comes around, she'll be all set and ready to go, so then we can have her back as well. But yeah, I'm just hoping we get some answers sooner rather than later. But one big question too is whether they'll actually finish out the episodes as written for this season, or retool them into next season's premiere to resolve enough and set up whatever comes next year. I mean, whichever way they go, I can't wait to get back to Central City and see what's going on with The Flash, and of course, obviously, how they're going to stop Eva and get back Iris and all of their friends. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens next in The Flash, but what do you guys think will be happening next in Season 7 of The Flash? Did you guys enjoy this episode? Please let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. And smash the subscribe button so that you can keep up with all my other Arrowverse reviews, and so that I can keep you up to date with everything that goes on in the DC life.